Okay, part 2 of the exhaust manifold extraction. I'm going to try to get as much corrosion off the base. The problem is right in here. It's these first couple threads. And you got to try to get as much of that corrosion out of there as possible. A lot of people believe the best thing to do is cut it off flush with the head, which I have tried this trick before on other 5.4s. And just grind out the first couple threads, because if you see it, this is the smooth body right here. It doesn't have any threads, it doesn't grab anything, and just sits inside the cylinder head. So I'm going to go around and clean as much of this corrosion and stuff out as I can, and then we're going to soak it. So I've got them as clean as I can get them now. I just brushed over them with a brush. It was kind of a waste of time, and then I sprayed it with some freeze off. And now I'm going to jar them. I have an angled impact. It's newer from Matco, and they're made for like pushing out ball joints and stuff that you can't get out. So you go over the stud, and they've got like little cups in the end, so you don't damage anything, and it keeps it exactly where you want it. And I think, where's that kit at? The kit, it's a 4-piece impact driver set, LT1800, and it comes with all different angled, smaller and bigger ones that have cups and flat ends. So we're gonna go through and just jar them a little bit, just to kind of see if we can get them loose. And basically, see, the angle helps me get on this bottom one right here, and like so, and then you use the other hand, just jar them a little bit. Now we put a Matco shank extractor socket on here that has those rollers inside it. Let's see if it'll break loose. Oh yeah, oh yeah, baby. Okay, it's loose. I got lucky on that. So I'm gonna go through and do the other ones as well and see how far we can get. Look at all the stuff coming out of the end of it right there from that stud. When he comes in today, I'm gonna order a new full kit from him. What I mean by you don't really see the corrosion and the rust down inside the threads. Normally it's right on that collar right there where it stops inside the first couple threads. And if you can actually grind out the first one or two threads, you take all that corrosion and stuff that's built up in the head with it, and then you can almost take a pick, and you can just run the screw or the broken bolt right out of the head. So if you look in there, it's pretty clean overall. Most of the damage is right here at the end. Those first couple threads, that's where all the problem's at. Typically, not every time. But I'm gonna go ahead and load this up now so you guys can see what's working for me. It's I sprayed it with freeze off. I jarred it with the Matco chisel kit, and I used a the Mac chisel kit, sorry. And I used a Mac SR8A stud extractor. Alright, I pretty much got everything nice and cleaned up all the way down. The only thing I'm worried about now is I started my pilot hole. If I can get you in there. I'm going to clean it out a little bit more around the threads, and then I'm going to use a left-handed drill bit to maybe back it right out of there. So let's go over here to the Mac drawer. The the 3-valve drawer. And take the extractor kit out. The 3-valve drawer. Clean up that hole just a little bit more than what we got it cleaned up. So I had to measure one of the old studs just to make sure I don't go too far. And there's where that collar sits right there. So I'm going to use a left-hand drill bit and see if I can't get that thing to start to move. The hole's being a pain and it doesn't want to come out. This son of a gun has been fighting me 10 ways this Sunday, so I got them all out other than one. And let's see if it works. Alright, this is where we're at. This is a freaking nightmare. But I got these new studs in, got the manifold and stuff in, chased all the threads and everything. This one right here, I cleaned up the edges with a grinder and then chased it all the way through. And let's just say, like, this is the thread depth. There was about that much of the thread that was missing, and then there was, you know, triple that. So I mean, I'm not going to go welding on this thing and helicoiling it and do everything else. There's still a lot of thread left in that hole that was acceptable. So I took some copper filler and I filled around the edge so there's no gaps or anything like that, and I put everything back together. And then it's a copper like silicone base, so yeah, it's just a high temp silicone just right around the edge of it. But there we go, it's all together, it's all in. Now we just slowly poke at it and put it all back together. Got everything nice and snugged up. Just get it together and get it running. I've got starter back in, and I've got ground cable and stuff hooked up back here. Now I got to get a new, see how bad that is? I got this all stripped back and a new one put on. And I got to get this cleaned up and put back on there. So that'll be next. And then yeah, then we got to get this AC compressor shoved back in there and cleaned out. It's go home time, and everything is pretty much back together. AC compressor's in. I gotta wait for one bolt because the one bolt snapped. Starter is in. I just got the connections as I was getting ready to go home. Anyway, exhaust is bolted up nice and tight. Gotta clean off some fluid here. Here, same thing, nice and tight. That's all back together. What a pain in the butt, guys, but you know what? It's in, it's clean, it'll be good. Sky will be happy. Gonna get this line back over here and bolt it up in its appropriate spot, like so. And yeah, we'll get it all buttoned back up the rest of the way Monday morning. But that's the build. The only thing I have left to do is put the fan shroud on, put the fan back in. Just plastic and a belt. That's it, pretty much. And we'll be good to go. Yep. Peace. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out, being part of all the shenanigans, all the rusty manifolds and studs and what did I have to do? Where's it at? Had to weld a little pecker on this thing to get it out. Yeah, the welding nuts on it and stuff like that, none of that worked. But when I actually took the welder, grounded it out to the motor, and then started filling up the spot where I drilled through, and then retapped the assembly. See, I kind of got a little sideways there, so I had to clean it up, tap it back and forth, and then re-thread it. Came out great. But that was how I got that out of there. I just kept filling up that channel. I started burning a little bit into the side here, it came right out. Y'all be blessed.